It's the 14th of May, so just keep going through these updates. So you've got the AVAX update with that potential trade idea on the low time frame. You've got the Doge plan as well. So I'll go through Ethereum now. Yep, so please take time to read the disclaimer. I'm not telling you to buy or sell Ethereum. I'm just showing you some things to look out for on the ETH chart based on how the money flows are configuring and just supply and demand. So I'll do a recap on the high time frame, and I'm going to go through like the trade we took in Discord to explain it in detail, and then I've had a few people ask for Ethereum on Twitter, so I'll put this on Twitter as well. So if you think back to the really high time frame plan we had was that we're treating it like a range, like a high time frame range. So range high, roughly between these yearly levels, we say 3,500 to 3,700 was range high. And then we said range low somewhere around $1,200. There's a high time frame horizontal on the SR down here. We were looking for a low to be put in the early May. I think it was around about the 2nd of May from memory. That was the ideal plan, wasn't it? Now, yeah, so we obviously bullish in November, had the breakdown in December, and obviously this was where obviously the trend shifted, and then we were looking for the move down into February. Potential buy, obviously we saw the weakness, so we said it's probably going to likely move down for a whole another phase, which it did, taking out all the fair value in process. And that was the plan too. Now, obviously, the target we had came in for some criticism on Twitter actually, because we were targeting this level down here at like 1,200. But obviously, as soon as Bitcoin broke the pitchfork and reclaimed the 382, completely shifted bias. And then we were looking for long trades. And you can clearly see here, we're waiting for these lows on the low time frame, and you can see we had the first. Let's just go through this, just like I showed you guys on the charts. So go high, low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. And then we're thinking, well, Bitcoin's broken out. Now you've had the shift, yeah. So you think back to the trade plan we had was looking for this bull flag to break higher. The ideal entry we had that the 382 was down here around about $1,700-ish. And then we said target one was the 382. And we explained why it would break through this quite easily. And then target two, we had the yearly here, and then we had the outside chance of coming up to the where I've put range high, which has been hit perfectly. So yeah, so all the targets have been hit on this chart now. I'll go through like a few things to look out for now that like obviously like we are seeing a weakness in terms of like divergence and stuff, but I'm not going to pay too much attention to that currently because these coins can just grind higher and higher on no momentum. So it's best just to trade the structures. Now you can see what's happened here. So look how powerful this was. Like on Bitcoin, didn't really give any pullback. So very powerful low time frame patterns, and we've exploded higher. Now in theory, this should move higher into the end of May, and then we look for a move down, and then maybe continuation. We just don't know. So I've just put on these arrows here because I'm just wondering if this is going to, if people are going to start shorting this level here. And you think about, like, I've explained to you guys about supply and demand. Okay, so, like then the move out this level is pretty nasty. So on the first attempt, this is going to reject, isn't it? But again, isn't it? It actually went sideways for quite a long period of time. So you had the balance here, came back into it, so it got slammed down. So it's not like obviously you have Fibonacci levels and running through here, but Fibonacci's got nothing to do with supply and demand. nothing whatsoever to do with supply and demand. It's just maths. It doesn't influence anything in terms of supply and demand. Traders just use it to find confluence and Elliott wave traders, etc. So, but it's not going to have any impact on why price is stopping or turning. So I think, like, you think about what we said was likely going to happen is we were likely looking for the move higher. No, I was expecting this target to get hit towards the end of May. It's obviously got hit early. So there is still time in this phase here for this to move higher. Now we're going to get some really good data, aren't we, as we move into this next phase. And I've just put this here. We're going to get like this whoop, 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 like pattern up here. Is it going to push higher into the end of May? And then we're going to get the correction. I just don't know what is going to happen. No one does. But in terms of like long trades here, if you took the long trade from Discord the other week, then obviously you've probably taken profits and just wait patiently now for something really obvious to develop. Now, levels below, obviously you've got the levels below. I'll go through a kind of like high time frame here now. You think we're kind of like we're in this phase, aren't we, here, where the market should be like doing something like this. So there's still time for this market to move higher. Now, I can imagine that people are going to start shorting based on seeing divergences and hitting these levels. Just don't think it's going to be that easy for them to get what they want. So like I keep saying, we just want to go phase by phase. So in terms of like the high time frame, isn't it? I said this last time. So I'm like, because people were getting confused by high time frame and low time frame. So you think back to here, like when we were when I was saying we were expecting a correction and a move higher. So it was low time frame bearish and high time frame bullish. You think obviously the high time frame we're talking about is this period out here, isn't it? That's our high time frame. All this period way out here. So we're just going phase by phase. We don't want to predict anything. We just want to be going phase by phase. Now our low time frame is just these sections here. Now these low time frame sections are going to give us really good data in terms of what can happen on a high time frame and also what can happen like in future phases. So you can see currently like very, very, very bullish pattern here, like very, very shallow pullback, extreme right translation, suggesting extreme strength in the market, which is what we wanted for the move higher. And again, explosive move higher in the early part of the cycle. It's not really until here that we should start to see this asset starting to move down, which is why I'm just wondering if we're going to get some kind of like grinding higher into the end of May. People get bearish down here and they get taken out, and then we get the correction. I put first week in June here. I just need to monitor this because I have keep changing these patterns based on the data we're getting. So like I keep saying, never, ever, ever trade just a single line on my chart. I mean, like, don't just think you're going to copy these charts and you're going to buy the absolute low and sell a top. You can do that, but over time you're going to get wrecked. So I just put the question mark there because I just see how this plays out, and then we'll keep updating as we go. But the context was bullish into early summer, first shift, Bitcoin confirming the low. Short trades are very low probability, especially early in phase. And in theory, like it's probably not out until like here we're going to start to have risk in this market based on these patterns currently. But that can all completely change in an instant. A chart can change in a second. So we've got the levels underneath. Hopefully you guys took the trade. And now we're just patiently waiting. I think what's likely going to happen is we're going to try and get one more push higher. Seems the most logical based on what I'm seeing. And then are we going to get some kind of correction into June? We just don't know how it's going to play out. I think that it shouldn't be closing below here. That would be a worry. So if you get the move down into June, it takes out the 382 and yearly, then it's probably going to come down to here. But based on this pattern, that's lower probability currently, and that can change in seconds. Just like when people were so focused on the high time frame ETH analysis, they weren't actually watching the chart at all. They weren't observing the data. They weren't paying attention to Bitcoin or the stock market. So we just don't want to be predicting or focusing on a bias. You just need to keep observing what's actually taking place in the charts. Yes, we don't know what's going to happen. So just one step at a time. So got the levels. We know the bias. It's the same as the Bitcoin update I shared with you guys over the weekend. If you've got any questions, then drop it in the question channel. But yeah, we'll just keep looking for the next opportunity on Ethereum. So yeah, you should be clear. It's pretty much the same plan from like the trade we took down here. Just obviously we've hit target sooner than we expected.